but
So how many of these fake IDs did you create?
man, I probably had like 25.
25.
Yeah, one time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 4 passports in different names. You know, my eventual plan was to get like $250,000 cash and fuck off. You know, because you know I was a military brat. So look, I lived in Germany for 2 years.
Pull
when
that
I
thing
was
a little bit closer.
I lived in Germany for 2 years when I was a kid. I lived in England for 3 years. So I was familiar with Europe. You know what I'm saying? So like I was gonna, you know, but I don't know. A lot of the stuff with dealing drugs, and I guess with anything in life, like you just get used to the lifestyle, you know, and then it's just you're just trying to maintain the lifestyle, you know. So I guess that could be said for any walk of life or whatever. But yeah, I never got that $250,000, and I never got to Europe.
Yeah, clearly, right.
Yeah.
So what did happen? What happened? You know, you had all these IDs. You were basically, you knew the feds were onto you. Didn't you have like your phone tapped? Didn't you and your friends have like your phones tapped? You knew they were like following you, right? And they were like pinpointing where you were at and tracking what you were doing.
Yeah, well, not at first. I mean, you know, for 2 years, so I'm a fugitive for 2 years. So look, like the first 6 months, like I'm paranoid. Like I think like the feds got that power, you know, because when you go through a situation like that, especially as a young kid, and basically, you know, all your friends tell on you, and you're just like, you think the feds are like omnipotent, right? But in reality, right, they're not omnipotent. All their information they're getting from the people that you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at first, you know, I'm saying they can't tap people's phones and all that, but that with me that came like that was like maybe like when the U.S. Marshals were like hot on my trail, like right at the end. You know, they were kind of tracking my movements through like a 1-800 beeper. Okay. You know, but that was like right at the end. But you know, so for the first 6 months, I would say I was pretty paranoid because I thought they had all these powers, and plus I was fucked up. You know, I always tell people it's like you know, there's this Jimi Hendrix song, you know, that it's like called Castles Made of Sand. And it's like, you know, castles made of the sand slip in the sea eventually. And that was kind of like my story, you know, because, you know, I'd made myself into this, like, you know, wannabe rock star or whatever. But it was all based, you know, on my ability to move weed and LSD, you know. And when that foundation was like ripped out from under me by the feds, I mean, I was fucked up. I didn't know who I was, you know. So, you know, it's all this shit. And then, you know, I take off. I'm a fugitive. I can't even be my real name. So that first 6 months, you know, a lot of paranoia, a lot of like, you know, you're just like questioning, like, you know, who the fuck am I? What am I doing? You know, is this the right thing? But, you know, at the same time, the fucking alternative, you know, snitch on your fucking friends or do 20 to life. I mean, you know, you're just like, fuck. But, you know, after 6 months, it took me about 6 months, I'd say I started getting my mojo back. And first I went out to LA. I was in Hollywood. You know, I had a little bit of money. I spent it, though, really quick. Like within 6 months, I spent all the money I had. So I ended up back in Dallas, Texas with my weed connect. This dude, you know, Mexican Eddie, who had a trucking line, was bringing weed over from Matamoros up to Dallas. And I started selling weed in, you know, like Texas and Dallas. But, I mean, down there it was like, back then, like ounces were going for like 60. So it was like, you really couldn't make a lot of money. So I was kind of selling weed to like this, there was this restaurant, it was called Harrigan's. And I was kind of selling weed to like the restaurant crowd. You know, I lived with this dude, he was a cook. He was actually from Missouri. So one weekend he was like, hey dude, I'm gonna go home, you know, and fucking go party. He was like, you wanna come? And I'm like, shit. And I'm like, you know people that can sell weed? Can you sell some weed? And he's like, fuck yeah. So I go to my dude, Mexican Eddie, you know, I grab like fucking 20 pounds and I'm like, fucking, we drive up in this dude's truck. And fucking, I didn't even sell all the weed, man. I probably only sold like 14 pounds. I probably bought 6 pounds back to Texas, but I made connections. And then that was kind of how I made my money in the first place. I would like buy something somewhere at a low cost and I would bring it somewhere else. And sell it for a higher cost. I mean, that's a basic premise of, you know, drug smuggling. So once I found this out, I was like, fuck it. I was back on, you know, where I had a margin. I could make like $1,000 a pound taking that shit up to St. Louis. So I started doing that, kind of got my fucking mojo back, you know, and basically I had like another little run, you know, probably, You know, it probably took me like 6 to 9 months to build up my clientele where I was making good money, and then I had about probably another 9 month run before the feds got me. And how that happened, I was actually the same dude, the cook. We'll just call him the cook. And he was selling weed for me up there, and he was still working as a cook, and he was actually working at TGI Fridays right by the St. Louis airport. And so we were actually going out to party in the street. This place is called St. Charles. It's like Main Street, like down on the river. But he needed to go make a drop with one of his guys, you know, at TGI Fridays. So we go to make the drop, but, you know, the kitchen is so busy. You know, it's like on a Friday night, his dude can't get off the line, so he doesn't make the drop, you know. And it's not even a lot of weed. It's like a half pound. So, you know, but I don't know this, you know. I thought he made the drop, so whatever, you know, my bad. You know, or whatever, but he didn't tell me. So then we go and I make a drop. You know, I dropped like 2 pounds with this guy. And, you know, we're waiting in the back of a Burger King parking lot. And, you know, we're about to go out and party, and I'm just waiting for money, and I don't think my dude has any weed, and he doesn't say nothing. So, you know, we're sitting in the back of a Burger King parking lot, and we're just fucking smoking joints like fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is another fucking... you know, turn of bad luck. So it just so happens, like we were in the Burger King first, we were eating, but you know, when people do drug deals, they take forever. So, you know, I give this dude 2 pounds. He goes down to the trailer park. It's taking him fucking forever to bring the fucking money. So we eat in the Burger King. We go out, we're smoking fucking joints. And just so happened this Burger King had got robbed like a week before, and they had gone in the back. So they see us out in the fucking back in a truck, and they fucking call the cops on us. You know, the cops roll up, and they smell the weed. You know, so boom, they're like fucking on us. And, you know, I'm thinking we're cool, like whatever. I got a couple of joints on me. You know, what the fuck they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But dude had a half pound in a guitar case, and they found that. So they arrested us both, brought us in, printed us, and still I'm good because it's not my car. I'm under fake ID. And it's his weed, so, I mean, he got to take it, whatever. I mean, it's my weed, but, you know, really, I fronted to him. It's his weed. It's his responsibility. So, you know, he does the right thing. He tells him it's my weed. He tells him I don't know anything about it. But they printed me, right? And when I was a fugitive, I had watched all those shows, like America's Most Wanted, you know, like all the fucking shows, you know, because I was interested. Like,
did you become more interested in it once you were on the run?
Oh, of course. I was studying. I was like, how do they find people?
Right.
You know, I like, how long does it take? You know, from watching these shows, I'd seen like serial killers. It took them like 90 days to match up their prints, like fucking serial killers, right? So I was like, who the fuck am I? I'm like a little fucking weed fucking LSD dealer, non-violent, you know, fucking from the suburbs. I'm like, who the fuck gives a fuck about me? But I had no idea. I was top 15 U.S. Marshals list.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, top 15 fugitive, dude. Like, for whatever fucking reason, right? So they match out my fucking prints in like 3 days, and they got the fucking... Because they released me, you know, because the dude, he's like, it's my charge, it's my car, it's my weed. So they released me, but they ran my prints, you know, because that's what they do. When they arrest people, they just run your prints just to see. They mashed up my prints, and they're like, oh, you're not fucking this dude. You're fucking Seth Ferranti. So fucking the fucking fugitive task force is like fucking on my tail. And this dude, it's like his real name. And like, you know, he has family in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? So they're like all on his grandparents and his fucking mom and shit. And he's all like fucking freaking out. And then he starts fucking cooperating, and that was when it was like the little thing, like the 7 days where they were like tracking my movements, because they were trying to see, because, you know, I had some weed, so I was selling weed, and the dude, the cook who got busted, knew I had weed, and I was trying to, you know, I knew I got arrested, but I had no idea they're going to match my prints, and the fugitive task force is looking for me. But still, I'm still like, I need to get the fuck out of Dodge, because they're going to match my prints up in like fucking 60 to 90 days, and they're going to find out who I am. So I'm trying to fucking move this weed, and then I'm going to fucking take the money, and I'm going to go fucking, you know, just basically go somewhere where nobody knows me and hide out.